are doing? Today is called Is It Possible? Yes, it is. Whatever you believe, you can achieve. So, I'm gonna start off my Sunday with nothing but positive ambiance and everything, nice scenery and all these things. So, what I'm gonna do is just tell you wonderful peeps that loves me about anything you want to be, you can. So, I'm gonna select some videos that inspire me on remembering where you come from. Because many times you have people in life make it and they don't even look back on where they started. Because in order for you to have an end, you have to have a start. So, I'm going to show you a video that I love. Some videos that I love to be exact. So I'm going to start off with one of my favorite footballer, Sadio Mane. He was on Liverpool, one of my favorite players. I love many footballers. I love me Neymar, love me Pele, love me Messi, Maradona, Ronaldinho. Did I say Messi? Yes. So I love Mbappe. I love my Jamaican. I can with my Jamaican. I love Liam Bailey. I love Cephas. That's from Jamaica as well. So I have Anand Lowe. Remember those long time 1998 players that went to France? I love me some female. I love Khadija Shaw. Yeah, I love this other one, Jody. Yes, I have many footballers I love, both male and female. So I'm gonna through. I was on the topic of footballers and their success. That's why. Yes, I love runners as well. Of course, I love me. My wonderful Shannon Fraser. I love me Elaine Sharika. I love Usain Bolt. I love Yuan Blake. Yes. I love me some Tia, some Tina. Shania Douglas. Yeah. Shariki Young. Navaske. Yeah, I love all my Jamaican runners. Merlin Atty, the veterans, them, the Dion Quarry. The what long time one name again, mommy? Go to the 400 meter. Again. Oh my God. George. You ever said Dion Quarry? You have George Edley? George Edley. Oh my God. And I called his name the other day, you know? Oh my God, it's on the top of my head. So bear with me, guys. So let's only give you guys a little bit of success stories, you know, if I'm not into something. So, so kick back, relax. Yeah, this is it.
Not on luxuries, but on helping others. Once, in an interview with the Ghanaian newspaper, Sadio Mane said, "Why would I want 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, and 2 jet planes? What will these objects do for me and for the world? Now, because I play, I can help people." What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're not Thoughts Project, you're probably never going to see us again. But if you are, congrats. You're on a journey of continuous growth.
worrying sign. He's looking at his right leg. This will be a worry, not only for Bayern, but for Senegal-Fans.
Mané geht jetzt auch so einfach runter, also es geht bei ihm nicht weiter.
Er hat zu hoffen, dass die Verletzung von Sadio Mané nichts Ernstes ist.
Genau heute auf den Tag, 2 Wochen her. Das Knie wird jetzt hauptsächlich entstauend behandelt. Unauffällig von der Narbe bis jetzt. Die Fäden sind gezogen worden vor 2 Tagen und Gelenk ist noch ein bisschen warm, noch ein bisschen geschwollen, was man sieht. Aber das gibt sich die nächsten Tage auch.
Oh, es geht um Wellen.
Ja, ist cool.
Gestern war aber heute.
Ja, das sieht man jetzt jeden Tag. Also gestern war es noch im OP-Gebiet geschwollen.
For 5 days was and 2 weeks already is all. I remember first 2 days I can't do this. Just do this. And now.
Oh yes, okay, yes. Dianoskitia? Yeah. That's how your name pronounced, right? Dianoskitia? Yes, definitely. Thanks. You're welcome, darling.
Today nothing. Now only the machine work for you. Gut, Sadio.
Danke.
Bitte schön. Dann
Wünsche dir einen schönen Tag.
hier auch, Sadio. Einen schönen Tag. Was bitte?
Nice. Ciao.
Ja, gute Besserung.
Okay.
Bis morgen, Sadio.
Die ersten 6 Wochen nach der Operation waren ein bisschen schwierig und sehr langweilig. Immer nur Behandlung nach Hause. Und dann wurde ich besser. Jeden Tag. Und dann, wir haben mit Training für den Oberkörper begonnen. Come on, follow us. Okay, progress.
Ist jetzt ein bisschen mehr als 90.
Ja,
Ich glaube, das ist kein Problem.
kein Problem für mich.
Sehr gut stabil.
Ja, like immer.
Ja. Und wie immer. Und flexibel.
Okay.
Okay? Yes, perfect. Perfect, Mario. That looks good. Suchen, wo du einen Punkt hast, wo du sagst, unangenehm und da bleibst du dann. Druck und prüfen, ob du irgendwelche Punkte findest. Yes, perfekt.
Hey Bruder, Sharif da. Sharif.
Not on luxuries, but on helping others. Once, in an interview with the Ghanaian newspaper, Sadio Mane said, "Why would I want 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, and 2 jet planes? What will these objects do for me and for the world? Now, because I play, I can help people." What do you think about this? Share your thoughts in the comments. If you're not following the Biz Thoughts project, you're probably never going to see us again. But if you are, congrats. You're on a journey of continuous growth.
Did you know Sadio Mane built a hospital and a school in his hometown of Bambali, Senegal? Despite earning millions, he once said, "Why would I want 10 Ferraris when my people have no food or education?" He proves true greatness is measured by giving back.
Sadio Mane's great fortune could have allowed him to live a carefree life with at least 100 luxury cars and a few private jets. However, as you've probably guessed, he chose a different path, helping the people of his homeland. Many who didn't know laughed at Sadio Mane for using a broken iPhone some time ago, but later everyone was shocked and extremely regretful when they learned more about the story of this magnificent player. Stay with me until the end of this video to see this touching story in detail. Mane spent his childhood in a typical African village, a place with very simple houses and barefoot children. Mane came from a huge family, which resulted in 10 people living in a small house without electricity. There wasn't enough food for everyone. Sadio's family was quite poor. When he was only 11 years old, the family's main provider unfortunately passed away, worsening the situation. As a result, instead of studying, the other men in the house had to start working, and whenever the young Mane had free time, he would play football with the local boys, using a homemade ball made of cloth. Despite the poverty that surrounded him, he dreamed of one day becoming famous and lifting his family out of poverty. Even though the odds were slim, he never stopped believing. He was the best player in his village, if not the region. He was known among his friends as Ballon Boo, the wizard of the ball. His mother and uncle, however, did not share the boy's enthusiasm and tried to stop him from playing. They believed that a boy from a forgotten village had no chance of becoming a professional football player, and that it was better to plan something more realistic for his life. The family's opinion began to change when, during the 2002 World Cup, Senegal reached the quarterfinals of the tournament. Then his mother had no choice but to allow her 10-year-old son to go to the football capital of the country. But how could he make such a journey without money? It was certainly a risky adventure. Sadio found accommodation with a family he barely knew, to whom he offered money and revealed his plan to become a professional football player. When the boy went to try out at the football academy, the coach said that his clothes and shoes were inadequate for the sport. But when the little one stepped onto the field, the coach's opinion changed for good. He was very fast and extremely skilled. After the tests, the coach allowed Mane to join his team, but it took the boy several months to showcase his talent. Throughout his time at the football academy, his mother and uncle sent what little money they could, and the coach also helped the poor boy as much as he could. But soon, Sadio would repay them all. Besides his talent, he was extremely dedicated to what he did. Several years passed this way, and the boy's zeal and dedication caught the attention of French scouts, and he soon signed a contract with FC Metz. He kept this news from his family until the last moment, and they didn't fully believe what was happening until they saw him on TV. At that very moment, Mane's incredible football career took off. It was at Liverpool that he had his most successful phase in football. Beyond his impressive career, his family had another important reason to be proud of him. Everyone knows Sadio Mane as a professional football player, but few are aware of his genuine efforts to help the poor. Mane is a religious person. He prays several times a day and behaves modestly, traits not often associated with professional athletes. Sadio believes it's his duty to share everything that comes his way, and much of it is money. At Liverpool, his salary was $293,000 per week, equivalent to $15.5 million per year. The most interesting part is that Mane uses this money to help people. The athlete doesn't drive expensive cars, buy designer clothes, or wear luxury watches. He doesn't own a yacht or a private jet. Many people started talking about Sadio when, before a game, cameras captured an interesting photo of him holding an iPhone 11 with a cracked screen. Many judged him, saying he should have replaced the screen long ago or even bought a new phone. In fact, Mane was the only player on the entire team who didn't care for the latest gadgets. Although he had enough money to buy 350 new iPhones each week, he believed that buying a new car or watch wouldn't make him a better person and preferred to spend his money wisely. Once Mane started receiving a steady income, one of his first projects was to build schools and football fields in his hometown. He did this because he knew firsthand what it was like not to have access to education or extracurricular activities. Later, journalists discovered that for years, Sadio has been sending $100 per month to each family in his village, simply to help them eat and live well. Besides the families in his village, Mane also provides the village with medicine, clothes, and shoes for everyone. He believes that the money he sends doesn't encourage people to become fully dependent on him, but rather prevents them from going hungry, as he did when he was a child. The pride the locals have for Sadio Mane is very visible, as when he stepped off the plane at Dakar Airport, he was greeted by a giant banner. Another example of Sadio's care for his country occurred after the outbreak of the pandemic. According to Senegal's National Medical Commission, Mane donated large sums of money to build new hospitals with ventilators and other equipment to treat those in need. The world is still impressed by how Sadio managed to remain humble after his triumph at Liverpool. Neither money nor fame ever affected him, and his actions clearly demonstrate that. Recently, images appeared online of the famous athlete cleaning the bathroom of a mosque with a friend. Mane explained the incident, saying he wanted to meet with his good friend, so he invited him for tea after their prayers at the mosque. His friend said he couldn't go because he had to clean the mosque's bathrooms, at which point Mane suggested they do the work together. Someone filmed them, and Sadio asked for the video not to be posted online. The person who filmed it promised not to, but the video appeared on social media the next day. However, Sadio didn't make a big deal out of it because he didn't mind working, as he spent his childhood working in the fields of his village and continues to do so during all the holidays he spends at home. There have been many similar instances in Mane's life, but he doesn't give them much importance, and of course, not all of them end up in the media. For example, once, when getting off the bus with his team, he noticed a worker unloading large water bottles, and, unlike his teammates, Mane stopped to help the man. Additionally, he bought houses for families in Senegal, paid for over 30 children's surgeries, and many other things that only the football player himself knows about. The famous iPhone with the cracked screen wasn't even something he had bought for himself. It was actually a gift from his teammate, who gave it to him to stop everyone from teasing Sadio for walking around with an old phone. But Mane has another much more expensive phone. After winning the Champions League, the club gave all the players a 24-karat gold iPhone XS. But of course, Sadio doesn't use it. In an interview, the athlete explained why he doesn't need expensive watches or cars. Why would I want to buy 10 Ferraris, 20 diamond watches, or 2 airplanes? What will these objects do for me or the world? I was hungry. I had to work in the field. survive hard times playing barefoot. I didn't have an education or many other things. But today, with what I earn thanks to football, I can help my people. I built a school, we provide clothes, shoes, and food for people in extreme poverty. I don't need to show off luxury cars, luxury houses, trips, or even airplanes. I prefer that my people receive a little of what life has given me, Mané declared. But now, I want your opinion. Do you know of any other player with such humility like Sadio Mané? Write it down in the comments below because I want to know. Also, be sure to leave your like, which helps us keep bringing new content like this. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new videos. A big hug and see you next time.
Okay guys, so you see why I respect him, you know, he remember exactly where he's coming from, and that touches my heart very, very, very much. Alright, so I'm gonna move over now to Ronaldo. Really wanting to find you know, someone that he believes that deserve the kindness of love and respect. So I'm gonna find it, you know, for you guys.
When I was a kid, with 11, 12 years old, we didn't have money. Look, my family, 3 months was hard, so very hard period without the family. Later night, like 10:30, 11, we are a little bit hungry. So we had a McDonald's next to the stadium where we live, and we always go to the back door and we knock the door. Hey, any burgers left? And Edna and 2 more girls, which they are unbelievable. I never find the girls again. I speak with some people in Portugal to try to find where is the girls, because I don't find them. I hope if this interview will help to find that girls, I will be so happy, because you know that period, it was a period that I was appreciate so much.
Cristiano Ronaldo's story doesn't begin in stadiums packed with screaming fans. It begins on a tiny island in the Atlantic Ocean, Madeira, Portugal. It begins in a cramped house with a tin roof, paint peeling from the walls, and the salty ocean wind blowing through cracked windows. It begins with a young boy named Cristiano, who didn't have much to call his own, except for a wild, unstoppable dream. Long before the world chanted his name, Cristiano was just another kid running barefoot through the narrow, steep streets of Funchal. His family didn't have money for new clothes, let alone football boots. When it rained, the roof leaked. When there wasn't enough food, his mother would find a way to make a pot of soup stretch for 4 children. His father, Jose Diniz Aveiro, worked as a gardener for the city and cleaned at a local football club. His mother, Maria Dolores, cleaned houses and cooked for neighbors just to earn a few more escudos. Cristiano's bed was squeezed into a tiny room he shared with his brother Hugo. He'd lie awake at night, listening to the ocean winds, imagining what it would feel like to step into a massive stadium, people chanting his name, bright lights shining down, a ball at his feet. His dreams were bigger than his world, and sometimes that was the only thing that kept him going. His father, Diniz, loved football but was haunted by his own demons. Alcoholism slowly stole his strength and presence. Sometimes he'd disappear for days. Even then, he made sure little Cristiano had a ball to kick. For his father, football was an escape he never got to live, but maybe his son would. At just 8 years old, Cristiano joined Andorinha, a small local team where his father volunteered. His first pitch wasn't grass. It was dusty dirt and uneven stones. If he fell, he got up. If his knees bled, he kept dribbling. Older boys knocked him down on purpose, but every knock only sharpened his hunger to get up and prove he was better. He was fast, faster than any boy his age. He dribbled past bigger kids like they were invisible. His coaches saw raw speed and raw fire, the perfect combination if only someone could shape it. At home, money problems kept piling up. Sometimes he'd help his mom clean. Sometimes he'd carry tools for his father. But whenever he could, he was out on those streets, juggling the ball, kicking it against walls for hours, perfecting his touch. Football was all he knew, all he wanted. It was more than a game. It was his ticket out. His mother, Maria Dolores, once said she considered an abortion when she found out she was pregnant with him. She confessed this to him later in life. And instead of anger, Cristiano turned it into fuel. She tried to abort me, he once told a reporter. But God didn't want that to happen. That's why I'm here, to prove I was meant to live. When he turned 12, the opportunity of a lifetime came knocking. Sporting CP, one of Portugal's biggest clubs, wanted him in their academy. But that meant leaving Madeira, leaving his family, the island's salty breeze, his mother's cooking, the only life he'd ever known. His mother packed his small suitcase. They hugged for what felt like hours. At the airport, Cristiano promised her he'd make her proud. He'd make them rich one day. She smiled through tears. He boarded the plane alone, a scared 12-year-old with a heart full of hope and fear. He didn't know it then, but this was the first real sacrifice in a life full of them. Lisbon was huge, loud, and cold compared to Funchal's warm familiarity. At the sporting academy, he was mocked for his Madeiran accent. Other boys called him Crybaby because he'd sob at night, longing for home. But when he stepped onto the pitch, the tears dried up. He was a beast on the ball, quick, ruthless, untouchable. While other kids snuck out for mischief, Cristiano was on the training ground alone. He'd run sprints, lift makeshift weights, and practice free kicks until the groundskeeper turned off the floodlights. He hated losing so much that if his teammates slacked off in practice, he'd get angry and train alone. Coaches noticed. Some thought he was too cocky, but one by one, they realized this wasn't arrogance, it was obsession. At 15, Cristiano's heart nearly ended everything. Doctors found he had a racing heartbeat, dangerous enough to stop him from playing forever. His mother wept when she heard the news. But Cristiano told her he'd be fine. He had to be fine. He underwent laser surgery to fix his heart. Just days later, he was back on the pitch, training as if nothing happened. Giving up was never an option. By 16, Sporting Lisbon's coaches knew they had something special. They put him in with the older boys, and he made them look foolish. He'd fake one way, burst the other, leaving defenders spinning. Word spread fast. There was a kid at Sporting who could do things others only dreamed of. Then, in 2003, came the match that changed football history forever. Sporting Lisbon played a friendly against Manchester United. The English Giants expected an easy game. Instead, they got a masterclass from a skinny teenager wearing green and white. Ronaldo humiliated seasoned Premier League defenders, leaving them chasing shadows. His stepovers were lightning quick, his pace electric. When the final whistle blew, the United players begged their manager, Sir Alex Ferguson, to sign him immediately. They'd never seen anything like him. Sir Alex, known for his eye for talent, made a decision right then and there. Cristiano Ronaldo must wear red. For £12, 24 million pounds. A record for a teenager at the time, Manchester United brought the boy from Madeira to England. He didn't speak much English. He missed home. He missed his mother. But when he pulled on the iconic number 7 shirt, the same one worn by George Best, Eric Cantona, David Beckham, he knew he had to be worthy of it. At United, Cristiano was a raw talent who dazzled crowds with flicks and tricks. But Sir Alex didn't want a showman. He wanted a champion. He told Ronaldo, "There's more to football than stepovers. End product wins games." Cristiano listened. He stayed behind after training when everyone else was gone. He'd take 100 free kicks until he got it right. He lifted weights, built his legs into pistons of power, and turned his skinny frame into a machine. Teammates mocked his vanity, his endless mirror checks, but when they saw him blow past them on the pitch, They realized it wasn't vanity, it was standards. In 2006, he faced one of his biggest tests. At the World Cup, England faced Portugal. During the game, Wayne Rooney, Cristiano's United teammate, got sent off after an incident with Ronaldo nearby. The English press turned on him viciously. They called him a cheat, a traitor. He received death threats. He thought about leaving England altogether, but Sir Alex backed him. Cristiano responded the only way he knew how, by becoming unstoppable. In 2008, he won his first Ballon d'Or. He fired United to a Champions League title, scoring 42 goals in all competitions. The boy who once played barefoot on Madeira's streets was now the best player in the world. In 2009, Real Madrid made him the most expensive footballer on earth, paying £80 million for the privilege. In Madrid, Cristiano transformed into a goal-scoring phenomenon. 451 goals in 438 matches. He broke records for fun. He won 4 Champions Leagues with Madrid. The Ronaldo versus Messi debate became football's eternal argument. Messi, the magical artist dancing past defenders like a phantom. Ronaldo, the relentless machine, forging greatness through sheer will. 2 players, 2 styles, 1 era defined by their brilliance. Off the pitch, Cristiano built an empire. The CR7 brand, hotels, gyms, clothing lines, perfumes, yet he never forgets where he came from. He's donated millions to children's hospitals. He paid for a 9-year-old fan's cancer treatment. He auctioned one of his Ballon d'Or trophies to fund children's education. He's fiercely protective of his family. He adores his mother. He calls her his rock. His children are his pride. Even now, playing in Saudi Arabia, many say he's finished. Yet every game he scores, assists, leads. Because for Cristiano, there's always another record to break, another mountain to climb. Cristiano Ronaldo isn't perfect. He's human. He's made mistakes. But if you want a blueprint for what it looks like to drag yourself from nothing to everything, look no further than the boy who turned tears into trophies and dreams into reality. If you're watching this now, maybe you have your own version of Madeira's dusty streets. Maybe you're fighting through your own lonely nights. Maybe you feel like no one believes in you. If that's you, take this story with you. Let it remind you that your struggle can be your superpower. Cristiano Ronaldo's life is proof that the only limits are the ones you accept. When they say you can't train harder, when they mock you, use it. When you fall, get up again and again. Because sometimes the only thing separating the kid with nothing from the man with everything is the courage to believe it's possible.
Which version of Cristiano Ronaldo do you think was the best? Some say it was his early years in Madrid.
Just like how you have tell the story and them tell you stuff. Always do one like a small clips of him that should be
This was the moment that defined him for millions. A single kick, a single miss, and just like that, the hero became the villain. But that's not the real story. The real story is about a boy from Caldogno who fought through pain, pressure, and expectation, who carried a nation on his shoulders, and whose name should have been remembered in gold, not grief. Because before the world remembered him for that one moment, he gave them 1,000 others. Moments of magic, of defiance, of grace, pain, and impossible beauty. From a land of warriors and defenders, he was an artist. This is the story of Roberto Baggio, the man who carried Italy and was left alone in the end. Italy has produced so many footballing legends through the years, but historically, they have been known as the nation for defenders. From Maldini to Baresi to Nesta and Cannavaro. But from a land of defenders rose one of the most prodigious attacking talents the sport had ever seen. This kid was born in Caldogno and started playing football in his local club at the age of 9. And at the age of 11, he had already been involved in 65 goals in just 26 games. 6 of those goals coming in a single game. Everyone who was tuned into grassroots football in Italy in the late 70s was already asking who this kid was. Really, who was this kid? Who was he? That kid was Roberto Baggio. And when he played, it was as if the game slowed down to watch. Every touch, every pass, every goal, a glimpse of something rare. He moved to Vicenza's youth team in 1980 at the age of 13 and was promoted to the first team at the age of 15, where he competed in the Serie C, the 3rd tier of Italian football. Baggio's first goal in the Serie C came from the spot on the 3rd of June, 1984. Little did the young teenager know that the penalty spot which opened his account would turn around and betray him at the end of his career. But for now, Baggio was still the most unplayable youngster in Italy. He was named best player in the Serie 1 in 1985, and the biggest clubs in the country were already fighting for his signature. He was destined for a move to a Serie A club that summer. In fact, he was scheduled to finalize a move to Fiorentina in 2 days before the worst imaginable thing happened. At the very end of the season, while attempting a slide tackle, Baggio ruptured the ACL and meniscus in his right knee. He was just 18 years old, and the doctors feared that he might never play football again. Baggio was distraught. His career was about to end before it had even started, and just before his big break, too. It was the worst thing ever. But Fiorentina stood by him. Despite what the doctors said, they still went ahead to sign him and even paid for his surgery and rehabilitation. Which is why a bloody war broke out on the streets of Florence when Baggio ended up moving to Juventus some years later. We'll come to the war soon, but for now, Baggio was a Fiorentina player, and everyone loved him, until they didn't. He didn't play a single Serie A game in his first season at the club because of his long-term injury. He was signed in 1985, but had to wait a full year for his Serie A debut, which eventually came in September 1986. Everyone thought this was the start of a really beautiful story, but that same month, he made his Serie A and European debuts. He picked up another knee injury. This time around, he needed 220 stitches to practically rebuild his knee. And just like that, he was set to miss out on another full season. Fans started to get impatient. It felt like the club had just taken upon themselves nothing more than a recurring medical bill. Yes, he's a brilliant player. But what's the point of his brilliance if he's never fit enough to play? But Baggio focused on getting back to the pitch as quickly as possible, and that finally happened 8 months later, in May 1987. And he came with a special gift for the fans. Baggio made his return against Diego Maradona's Napoli, the eventual winners of the Scudetto that year. Everyone expected Napoli to win comfortably, especially after they went 1-0 up. But Baggio scored a beautiful free-kick goal and managed to snatch a point for Fiorentina. That goal didn't just secure a point against the mighty Napoli, it also saved Fiorentina from relegation that year. That goal right there was the start of new things. After an injury-laden start to life at Fiorentina, Baggio finally began to get up to speed. Then, in the 1988-89 season, he exploded. He scored 15 Serie A goals and was the league's third highest goal scorer that season. He also helped Fiorentina finish 7th on the table, ultimately helping them secure a ticket to the UEFA Cup. Baggio quickly became known for his otherworldly creativity and composure in front of goal. Miguel Montuori, an Argentine-born Italian legend, declared that Baggio was even more productive than Maradona and crowned him the best number 10 in the league. That's how good Baggio was. Having helped them secure a spot in the UEFA Cup, Baggio then went on to lead Fiorentina to the final in 1990. It was in that campaign that he scored his first European goal, and again, it came from the penalty spot. Anyway, Fiorentina eventually lost to Juventus, and that was where the drama started. Not long after the UEFA Cup final, the world was shocked by one of the most controversial transfer moves in football history. Juventus had just signed Roberto Baggio from Fiorentina for £8 million, making him the most expensive player in football history at the time. The Fiorentina fans could not believe it, and they were completely irate. After all the club had done for him, how could he dare do that? Not to just leave, but to join a rival. Come on. Now, for those who don't know, Juventus and Fiorentina are bitter rivals. You see, in 1982, Juventus beat Fiorentina to the Scudetto on the last day of the season, no thanks to a series of controversial refereeing decisions. From that moment on, Fiorentina fans hated the sight of Juventus. When they signed Baggio in 1985, it was a sweet victory because Juventus had previously shown interest in the youngster. But in the summer of 1990, it felt like they lost twice 2 trophies to their bitter rivals. One, the UEFA Cup, and the other, Roberto Baggio. Then he completed his carry job by scoring 2 goals in another 1 win in the semi-final against Bulgaria. This time around, though, both goals came early, in the 20th and 25th minutes. So, with 5 goals in the knockout rounds, Baggio successfully carried Italy to the World Cup final for the first time in 12 years. He also finished with the second highest number of goals at the tournament. The final was against Brazil, so it was always going to be difficult. This was a battle of who would be the first nation to ever win 4 World Cups and become the outright most successful nation in the competition's history. Both teams wanted it so bad, which made for a very interesting build-up to the game. But a game that was already difficult on its own became even more difficult for Italy when news broke that Roberto Baggio would not be fully fit for the final in California because he had pulled his hamstring in the semis. But he didn't want to let his teammates and his country down, so he insisted on playing with the help of painkiller injections. Of course, he wasn't his usual self in that game, but Baggio still managed to create chances and threaten the Brazil goal. But despite all efforts, neither he nor the Brazil contingents could do anything in 120 minutes. The game ended 0-0, so things had to be decided on penalties. Franco Baresi and Marcio Santos missed the first penalties for Italy and Brazil respectively. Then both sides went on to convert each of their next 2 penalties. But then Massaro missed for Italy and Dunga scored for Brazil, putting a lot of pressure on Baggio as he stepped up to take Italy's 5th penalty. If he scored, Brazil would have to score their next penalty to win the World Cup. If he missed, it was over. But this was Italy's best penalty taker, and best player overall, so everyone expected him to convert from the spot. As he walked up to the 18-yard box with his ponytail swinging from left to right with every step he took, he must have been aware of how important this particular kick was for him and every Italian watching, but he perhaps had no idea how much it would shape the entire worldview of him. Baggio placed the ball down on the spot, walked backwards, and without wasting much time, jogged towards the ball and sent it sailing over the crossbar. It was all over. That miss confirmed Brazil as world champions. Baggio stayed rooted to the spot for 8 minutes with his head down after his miss. He stood there, staring at the grass as the world around him exploded in celebration. The cameras zoomed in. The headlines were already being written, and in that moment, football didn't feel like a game. It felt like a funeral. That image, Baggio alone, head down under the Californian sun, became the defining snapshot of his career. They called him the man who died standing, and in many ways, he did. Baggio has since come out to say that that was the worst moment of his career, and he still dreams about it till this day.
Un desiderio da esaudire nel mondo del calcio, cancellare il 17-94.
That year, he would end up with the World Cup silver ball and a second-place finish at the Ballon d'Or, but none of that did anything to assuage the ache in his heart. It also did nothing to stop the world from blaming him for Italy's loss. It didn't matter that he had almost single-handedly dragged Italy to the final. It didn't matter that he was the tournament's second-best player. It didn't matter that 2 others missed their penalties before him. All the world saw was his miss, and in their eyes, that made him the villain. The miss didn't just haunt him, it lingered. He returned to club football with doubts swirling. Could he still lead? Still matter? 2 years later, he answered. He would go on to win the Scudetto with Milan in 1996, but because of his falling out with the Italy manager, Baggio did not go to the Euros that year. He would return to the national team under Cesare Maldini, leading them to the World Cup in 1998. In the opening game against Chile, Italy won a penalty. And despite the trauma of 1994, Baggio had the mental strength to step up, and he converted the kick, his first goal from the penalty spot for Italy since the miss in the final. In Baggio's words, that goal was liberating. In 1998, Italy's tournament was once again decided on penalties, this time in the quarterfinals against host nation France. Baggio stepped up first this time around and converted his kick. But it wasn't enough, as Italy lost and were knocked out. Despite that sad day in 1994, real fans remember Roberto Baggio as one of the greatest players of his generation. He is Italy's all-time top scorer at the World Cup, and the only Italian to score in 3 different World Cup tournaments. And it is pretty sad that many remember him by that one missed penalty, because he is actually one of the greatest penalty takers in football history, with a conversion rate of 85%, better than that of both Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo. Roberto Baggio scored 108 of the 127 penalties he took, the best conversion rate in the history of Italian football. In fact, that penalty miss in the 1994 World Cup final was the only one he ever missed during a penalty shootout. He is Serie A's 7th all-time top scorer and 4th for most free kicks. He is also the 4th highest scoring Italian in football history. The Divine Ponytail was a once-in-a-generation player, graceful, fearless, unforgettable, and true football lovers will always remember him that way. Today, Roberto Baggio lives far from the spotlight. After retiring from football, he turned down coaching and punditry offers, choosing a quiet life instead. He resides in the countryside with his family, spending his days farming, hunting, and living simply. No cameras, no press, just peace. For a man who once carried the weight of a nation, it's a life of stillness he never had on the pitch. But since we're talking of football legends, why not click on this video so I can tell you about the day football lost Diego Maradona? It's the most insane story of drugs, violence, imprisonment.
2002年につなぐ90分間にしなければなりません。ワールドカップ戦日本対ジャマイカ、勝つために戦います。このゲームの解説は日本のメンバーです。日本は出場できない中西に変えて、僕らは特に日本は取ってないですから。今度は奈良橋シュートした奈良美のシュート、日本が早めにシュートに入ってきますと言いますが、非常に危険なホイッスルがありました。具体的能力のチャンスですね。相馬入ってきた、さあ合わせたのは中山です。少しね、中山選手ちょっとタイミング遅れましたね。ちょっと重なった中山、右へ展開、長のボレーシュート、いやー、長が久しぶりに前を向いてプレーしました。中山、長のラインにつながってのプレーです。上がってきます。シンプソンの左足、もう正確です。6番のシンプソン、日本ピンチになる、要注意だ。点を取ると乗りやすいタイプで怖いジャマイカです。山口です。隣に奈良美がいる。奈良美出した、奈良美フリーだ。奈良美高々と蹴り上げてしまった。日本にとっては久しぶりのチャンスのシーンでした。ちょっと距離があります。よし、久しぶりにボールを持ったゲールのシュートです。このゲールもイングランド・ウィンブルドンでプレーする選手です。後ろから相馬だ、戻してきた、ジャップン、チャンスだ。超またも上、ゴールの方向に向かっていないのか。抜けてきた、ライン一本、シュートを打たれそうだ、ピンチになった。ジャマイカの先制ゴール、11番のウィットモア。ジャマイカに先制ゴールを許しました日本。3試合連続の失点です。やはり田中さん、大事なセカンドプレーですよね。取ってない 少しね、体重が前に乗ってなかったですね。このフリーになっている距離があるが、打っていった。こぼれ球は入ってくる選手が中にこぼれです。中にゲールがいる。要注意です。シュート打った。2点目ジャマイカ。ジャマイカ2対0リード。またしてもウィットマーにやられました。選手の交代を指示した岡田監督。チャンス続きますが外します。フリーをね、外していったら勝てないですね。日本2人投入です。まず引き分けも厳しい状態だ。平野のシュート。平野。ロペス抜けた。こぼれ球だ。中山。そしてこぼったところ中山だ。中山が上がっている。逆サイドからヘディングシュートだ。平野のヘディングシュート。これ中山からいいボールでしたね。ようやく日本らしいですよ。奈良橋がダイレクトで入れる。平野からボールが来る。後ろから中田のシュートは抑えられなかった。相馬です。ロペスで来る。2対1、ようやく待っていた1点。左サイドから早いタイム得点ですかね。ここでロペスが開いたところ、これロペスね、狙ったと思うんですけどね、よく中山が詰めていきましたね。さあ、この1点で日本が中山に対するファウル。日本の初ゴールは中山。
Okay, guys, this segment is called Believer. So it's all about believing whatever you want to believe in life, you can achieve. So kick back and relax. Thank you.
A special bond of years, and he prepares to turn the other ants into his minions, but it suddenly calls him the king. He's surprised that he can talk, because his other minions never speak to him, and the system tells him to give it a name.
No one is going to create the future
This
that you
segment
want
is
for
called
We get
Billionaire
one opportunity to
Future.
come this way. We get one shot. We got one life to live. Life is too short to make excuses.
I want you to close your eyes and visualize your dream.
I need you to get out of your comfort zone.
If we all woke up ordinary, we all off to the same start.
You've decided that you're not going to allow the events, the things, the people, life determine who you become.
It is a decision that you have to make within yourself. No one is responsible for that.
Stop waiting to feel like it. Stop waiting until you see it.
Failure is only permanent you choose not to get back up.
And what you do today will determine your future.
Now I'm asking you, what do you see in the future for you? What brought you here today? What caused you to get up?
You're closer than you've ever been before. You have to do me a favor. Those 15 minutes are not worth the rest of your life. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
You woke up this morning to chase your dream until you catch it.
You're gonna have to sacrifice who you used to be. When you want to sleep, you have to wake up.
So don't run from difficulty, run to it.
Because it's always darkest before the dawn.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, give it 120%. Every day, every single day is a new beginning. So take a deep breath. Inhale, exhale. It's a new day, a new opportunity.
So if you get some setbacks, embrace them. Sure, every day is not going to be a good day for you. Every day is not going to always happen for you. But it's always something happening. But you got to make it happen for the right reasons. For every day of your life, you must continue to believe in yourself. For every day of your life, you must have enough faith and understanding that it's up to you to make that difference count.
You gotta realize your only competition is really yourself. They may be winning on the outside, but if you're losing on the inside, how can you overcome that? I'm gonna tell you how you can overcome it. Shut down each and every negative thought that comes into your brain, each and every time it pops into your brain. It's 5 in the morning, and you told yourself the night before you were getting up today. And when it's time to get up, and your brain starts saying, no, I'm not ready yet. Just 5 more minutes. No. Just 10 more minutes. No. Just 15 more minutes. You have to shut it down and say, we're getting up right now. 5-second rule. Like Mel Robbins says, you got 5 seconds to act on your impulse, or it's gone. So we're not waiting 5 seconds. We're going to rise and grind. We're going to rise and shine. We're going to rise and climb. We're going to rise and give everything we got.
So you always find yourself starting off on the right path. You start off, you're feeling good, you're running, you're doing everything that you need to do. But it starts to get harder. Things start to push you back. Life starts to push you back. People start to push you back. Everything around you starts to crumble. You have nothing else left to give. Then you got to find something else. You got to turn on that grind switch. You got to get down and dirty and nasty if you got to. You got to do what necessarily is going to take for you to get what you want. You got to go out there with everything you got.
It's time for you to set yourself on fire and live life with passion and put yourself in a position to do the things that you want to do on a daily basis. Rise and grind. Because the mindset of greatness knows that adversity breeds resilience. And that struggle leads to its next level success and bona fide brilliance. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up. Give every ounce of your heart, give every ounce of your soul. See, I woke up early, went to bed late. I'm in grind mode. I see the sun in yourself to live in shine mode. You gotta understand it's not a sprint, it's a marathon in due time mode. If you're not where you want to be in your life, it's time for you to live in redesign mode, refine mode. Don't you understand you were put here to win?
Don't be afraid of the hard work. Don't be afraid to grind a little bit harder. Don't be afraid to sweat a little bit. It's okay, man.
And I guarantee you will change your life, change the way you think, and you put yourself in position to expand, not shrink. Rise and grind. See, the mindset of greatness sees the ultimate outcome right from the beginning. If you can't get up and get after it, how do you expect to win? If you can't get up and get after it, how do you expect to go to another level? If you can't get up and get after it, how do you expect to raise the championship banner on your life? It's time for you to change your perception, because the reality is you gotta put something in to get something out.
You're gonna have those bad days, but keep on grinding. You're gonna wanna quit, but keep on grinding. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a very important part of your life. It is a decision that you have to make within yourself. No one is responsible for that.
When pressure begins to build called life, because life is going to bring you ups and downs and mountains and valleys. And I'm sure some of you in here, your backstory is full of ups and downs and good days and bad days. I bet some of you in here, your backstory is full of a lot more difficulties and some traumas and some things it's hard for others to comprehend. See, pressure, it can create diamonds, or it can bust a pipe. Pressure's not the problem. Listen, to be honest, man, your life, what you faced in 2020, 21 and what some of you have experienced the last several years in your life, it's not going to be the most difficult thing that you probably have ever had to face. Maybe for some of you it's been extremely painful. Maybe you've lost someone close to you of a trauma or an abuse, or something really painful has happened. But for most of us, 2020 and 2021 won't be the most difficult thing that you've ever faced in your life. Life is about these ups and these downs, and it's about pressure and insecurities and its challenges. The challenge for you and me is, what will we do with the pressure that we're in? Will we allow the pressure to bust the pipe, or will we step into uncomfortable, step into our story, and to realize the pressure, the challenge, the difficult situation, if I grab a hold of it and take control of what I can control, which is me and my reaction and how I respond, that pressure can become something valuable like a diamond. Because there's a lot of characteristics and behaviors and habits that we develop. It's not that we set out and we began to have negative thought patterns, and we didn't set out to have negative habits. A lot of times we're around certain people, and by influence, by the exposure, by the ability of us to be close to people, we sometimes just pick up tendencies. I'm sure some of you got some friends that say certain phrases, or they talk a certain type of way, and next thing you know, you're kind of saying the same phrase. You're kind of saying the same tendency, and maybe even your mom or your dad are like, you sound just like so-and-so. Right? Because we catch up and we catch things from each other. And so for me, what I caught from my dad when I was a kid, it was his coping mechanisms. You know, like I always say, it was the fake face, it was the fake smile, it was acting like everything. Or is the thing that's stopping you, you?
Excuses sound best to the person that's making them up. Stop feeling sorry for yourself. Get off the pity potty. Telling everybody your sad and sob stories, trying to get people to show up to your pity potties and your pity parades. If you ever see me in a Rolls Royce, a 6 or 7-star hotel, living my life to the fullest, don't get jealous of me, because I worked my ass off to get it. Nobody handed me nothing. Wake your ass up. Awaken the beast inside. It's game on. It's go season. It's time for you to take advantage of the access and the resources that you have in your country and your community. You got a problem with your life. You got a problem with the environment. Do something about it. If you want it, go get it.
Recognize the excuses are not valid. They're conjured up, they're fabricated, they're lies. And how do you stop the lies? You stop the lies with the truth. But the truth is, you have time. You have the skill, you have the knowledge and the support and the willpower and the discipline to get it done. The fruit of everything good in life begins with a challenge. Everything is a pill that's worthwhile. And it's not going to come to you, and it's not going to fall in your lap, and it's not going to be something that, oh God, it just was so simple. It's always going to be difficult. If you want it, you gotta go get it. This is your chance. This is your shot. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your place. This is your opportunity. This is my time. This is my moment. Tomorrow. Ain't no such thing as tomorrow. We only got today. It's your dream. If you want to have it, get your butt up and make it happen. If you want to have it, right.
You've got dots to connect, walls to walk in, stages to stand on, and tables to sit down at.
But you got to put a new mind in you. You got to get out of your mind. You got to begin to restructure your thinking.
I'm ready to do this for my family. I'm ready to do this for my mother. I'm ready to win for my father. I'm ready to make history and ready to do something that nobody ever thought I could do.
And we mistake the fact that we're supposed to be comfortable 24/7. Well, let me tell you something. Comfortable is equivalent to complacent.
It's not always about the accomplishment. It's about the effort.
I choose not to be a common man. It's my right to be uncommon if I can. I seek opportunity, not security. I want to take the calculated risk. To dream and to build, to fail and to succeed. I refuse to live from hand to mouth. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence. The thrill of fulfillment to the stale calm of utopia. I will never cower before any master, nor bend to any threat. It's my heritage to stand erect, proud and unafraid to face the world boldly and say, this I have done.
Who doubts you? I'm worried when you doubt you. Because when you doubt you, you can't get nothing done. When you doubt you, every little thing that gets in your way turns you back. When you doubt you, all of a sudden things just seem to be harder. But out of everybody who doubts you, you can't doubt you. You got to believe in you. You got to believe in your ability. You got to believe that you can win.
We get one opportunity to come this way. We get one shot. We got one life to live. Life is too short.
Who are willing to confront any part of you that's not speaking to your madly, wildly amazing future.
When somebody is in love with who they've been called to become, what they've been called to fulfill, what they've been destined to do, there is no day off. I'm telling you, don't wait another moment. Don't wait another day. Don't wait another minute.
It's lonely. It's challenging. It's discipline. It requires perseverance. It's a mindset. It's not over until I win.
People that make excuses are not connected to their destination. They don't have an end game. They don't have a goal. You have allowed yourself to become a weak link covered under the blanket of excuses. But I'm just wondering if there's anybody here that has a dream. I am ready. Come on. I am ready. Come on, let me hear you. I am ready. One more time. I am ready.
Consider this your wake-up call.
What most people fail to realize is that pain is inevitable and it is unavoidable. There is no path in life without pain. Whatever it is that you're going after, whoever it is that you've been destined to become, you cannot have it. You will not become it without pain. You will face challenges and difficulties and giants, regardless if you are single, if you are married, if you are a stay-at-home mom, a stay-at-home father, if you are an entrepreneur, if you're working a 9-to-5, if you're an educator, if you are an athlete, if you are a musician, a singer, a producer, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are doing, pain is inevitable.
If I'm going to hurt like this,
this, if I'm gonna bleed like this, if I'm gonna cry like this, let me cry because I'm in the best shape of my life. Let me cry because I'm conditioned to weather the uphill war. Let me cry because I'm building my relationship. I'm building my business. I'm building my legacy. Let me cry because it hurt, but there is a reward on the other end of my pain. Let me cry tears because I passed the test, because I gave it everything I had. Choose your heart. Everything in life comes with hardship. Make a decision. At some juncture, you will encounter pain. And the moment that you get acquainted with pain, you get acquainted with hardship, you realize that no matter what you do, no matter how much you study, no matter how much you plan, you will not be able to avoid a measure of pain. I don't care what it is, losing weight, I don't care what it is, a new eating paradigm, a new relationship paradigm, new thoughts, new behaviors. It doesn't matter what you're after, what you're looking to become. If you don't go to the gym, it's gonna hurt you. If you go to the gym, it's gonna hurt you. Your muscles are gonna tear. But on the other side of that pain, there is a reward. There isn't any regret. You won't regret taking care of your body. On the other side of making those healthy decisions, there is a reward. It's the reward of discipline. It's the reward of longevity. It's the reward of influence. It's the reward of power. Do you want results? Do you want a reward? Or do you want regrets? The decision is yours. It's all hard, so choose your heart. Pain is inevitable and it is unavoidable. Pick your pain.
That's 10 fun rainy day activities in the city.
Where is that?
List the places mentioned in this video, and see if it doesn't know.
Bad day, quick fix. Found it so quick.
Wow, cool. Museum sounds good.
Everybody's got a plan until life knocks them out because we weren't ready for the pain. And when the pain came, we did not process it. Processing pain is a skill set you've got to acquire. It's a type of currency. If you want the future, if you want next level, if you want tomorrow, if you want to manifest, if you want this thing, I don't care what it is, then you're going to have to get acquainted with pain. The pain of discipline, the pain of growth, the pain of learning, the pain of giving, the pain of forgiving. It all hurts. So pick your pain. Choose your heart. Because at some juncture in life, at some corner you're going to turn, you are going to encounter pain. And you've got to process that pain well. Hear me when I say it. Pain is unavoidable. It's hard to let go of the past. It's hard to give sometimes of your time, your talent, and your treasure. It's hard to balance work life. It's hard to acquire new skills. It's hard to be stagnant. It's hard to be a workhorse. It's hard to be lazy. It's hard to learn how to manage and cultivate relationships. It's hard to learn through your experiences. It's hard to turn your mess into your message. It's all hard. It's hard to hold on. It's hard to let go. But there's a reward on the other end of many of these hardships. You gotta choose reward or regret. There is always reward and regret attached to every decision that you make. Hold on. Pain ends. Pain does have an expiration date. And when that pain ends, another one will surface, but you will be strong enough because you endured the current pain well. Everybody wants resurrection, but nobody wants the pain of dying to themselves. There's a pain that hurts you, and there's a pain that changes you. So today, all I want you to do is make a decision to choose your heart.
Rise and grind. You can't lay around a 12 each and every day and expect greatness to come your way. It don't work like that. So you get out of this life exactly what you put into this life.
Control, alt, delete. Control yourself, alter your thinking, and delete negativity. Period. It's about manifestation. What have I been destined to become? Wake up! There's always another level.
Life is not responsible for how you take care of your own mindset. Life is not responsible for you having a positive attitude. You're not dead. You still have life. Your heart is still beating. And the journey must continue. Stop drowning and learn how to swim. Don't blame life because you fall down. Don't blame life because that relationship didn't work out. Don't blame life because that job did not turn out. It is not life that's holding you back. You just got to be a little bit tougher than your circumstances. You can't concern yourself about things that you have no control over.
What are you made of? What is your DNA? What is your mentality? What are the skill sets? Come on, start to write down the vision. What are your goals? What are your financial goals? What are your relational goals? What are your spiritual goals? Come on, start thinking about these things. You're still alive for a reason. Somebody died today, but you're still here listening. In this very moment, you have an opportunity. Seize the opportunity.
When you take that kind of action, when you have that dedication, when you show that kind of passion, when you put in that kind of work, you can't help but win. Because limits exist only in the mind.
You will meet many challenges. Many things will come at you. There are going to be times that you're going to want to give up. But you don't have the
brain is the only thing you have when you're going through depression, when you're going through hard times, you're going through death. Real life, you can't Google that, man. You're alone. You're alone. You may have a shrink you're going to, you may have a best friend you're going to, but there's 24 hours in the day where you're alone in this brain. And your brain is talking to you in all kind of ways. And it wants to control you and pull you in these different pockets. If you can't control your own brain and your brain controls you, you got to tell your brain where you want to go and how you want to go and how you want to get there. You got to control it. If not, it's over. What existed for me was, okay, man, how am I going to make this work? And all I knew back then was hard work. The only way anything gets accomplished, that's all I heard back in those days. You got to work hard. You got to work hard. I'm not getting I can't get this paragraph. I can't remember what the f***'s in this paragraph to pass this test to get in the military. Read again. Still not getting it. Read again.
And look at you with that look and say, why don't you try something else? Why don't you give up?
Get away from these people that's in your life that ain't doing nothing. Get away from people in your life that's hating. Get away from them. Get away from them. If you take an oak tree seed and you put it in a 2-foot pot, that seed will never become the oak tree that oak trees are capable of becoming because it's gonna get stifled by the 2-foot pot. Now check this out. Ain't nothing wrong with the seed. Seed just fell prey to the environment. Don't you allow your environment to dictate the oak tree that you become.
Anytime you move from being normal to trying to be exceptional, people aren't going to like that. Those normal people, it makes them feel like so they're going to judge you.
And that's why every true leader, they're called weird. They're called eccentric. When you do the things of real leadership, you're going to be called
first. Put God first in everything you do. Everything that you think you see in me, everything that I've accomplished, everything that you think I have, and I have a few things, everything that I have is by the grace of God. Understand that. It's
It's a gift. 40 years ago, March 27th, 1975, it was 40 years ago, just this past March, I was flunking out of college. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I hope none of you can relate. I had a 1.7 grade point average. I was sitting in my mother's beauty shop. Beauty shop now? What they call it now? Yeah, I was sitting in the beauty parlor.
Hi, I'm back.
I'm telling you, embrace it, because it's inevitable. And I should know. In the acting business, you fail all the time. Early on in my career, I auditioned for a part in a Broadway musical. Perfect role for me, I thought, except for the fact that I can't sing. So I'm in the wings, I'm about to go on stage, but the guy in front of me, he's singing like Pavarotti. He's just, and he's just going on and on and on, and I'm just shrinking. I'm getting smaller and smaller. So they say, "Oh, thank you very much, and you'll be hearing from us." So I come out with my little sheet music, and it was Just My Imagination by the Temptations. That's what I came up with. So I hand it to the accompanist, and she looks at it and looks at me and looks out at the director and was like, so I start, I'm going to sing. I'm like, it's just my imagination once again, and they're coming away with me. And I'm not saying anything, so I'm thinking I'm getting better. So I just start getting into it. It was just my imagination. Running. They say, "Oh yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Washington, thank you." So I assumed I didn't get the job. But the next part of the audition, he called me back. The next part of the audition is the acting part of the audition. So I'm like, hey, okay, maybe I can't sing, but I know I can act. So they pair me with this guy, and again, I didn't know about musical theater. And musical theater is big, so they can reach everyone all the way in the back of the stadium. And I'm more from a realistic, naturalistic kind of acting where you actually talk to the person next to you. So I don't know what my line was. My line was, well, hand me the cup. And his line was, well, I will hand you the cup, my dear. The cup will be there to be handed to you. I said, oh, okay. Well, should I give you the cup back? Oh, yes, you should give it back to me, because you know that is my cup, and it should be given back to me. I didn't get the job. But here's the thing. I didn't quit. I didn't fall back. I walked out of there to prepare for the next audition, and the next audition, and the next audition. I prayed. I prayed. And I prayed. But I continued to fail, and fail, and fail. But it didn't matter, because you know what? There's an old saying, you hang around the barbershop long enough, sooner or later you're going to get a haircut. So you will catch a break, and I did catch a break. Last year, I did a play called Fences on Broadway. That's how someone talked about it. Won the Tony Award. And I didn't have to sing, by the way. But here's the kicker. It was at the Court Theater. It was at the same theater that I failed that first audition 30 years prior. The point is, and I'll pick up the pace, the point is, every graduate here today has the training and the talent to succeed. But do you have the guts to fail? Here's my second point about failure. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. I'll say it again. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. My wife told me this great expression. To get something you never had, you have to do something you never did.
Les Brown's a motivational speaker. He made an analogy about this. He says, imagine you're on your deathbed, and standing around your deathbed are the ghosts representing your unfulfilled potential. The ghost of the ideas you never acted on. The ghost of the talents you didn't use. And they're standing around your bed, angry, disappointed, and upset. They say, we came to you because you could have brought us to life, they say. And now we have to go to the grave together. So I ask you today, how many ghosts are going to be around your bed when your time comes? You've invested a lot in your education, and people have invested in you. And let me tell you, the world needs your talents, man, does it ever. I just got back from Africa like 2 days ago, so if I'm rambling on, it's because I'm jet lagged. I just got back from South Africa. It's a beautiful country, but there are places there with terrible poverty that need help. And Africa is just the tip of the iceberg. The Middle East needs your help. Japan needs your help. Alabama needs your help. Tennessee needs your help. Louisiana needs your help. Philadelphia needs your help. The world needs a lot, and we need it from you. We really do. We need it from you young people. I mean, I'm not speaking for the rest of us up here, but I know I'm getting a little grayer. We need it from you, the young people, because remember this. So you got to get out there. You got to give it everything you got, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. Because remember this. You will never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. I'll say it again. You will never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. The Egyptians tried it, and all they got was robbed. So the question is, what are you going to do with what you have? I'm not talking about how much you have. Some of you are business majors. Some of you are theologians, nurses, sociologists. Some of you have money. Some of you have patience. Some of you have kindness. Some of you have love. Some of you have the gift of long suffering. Whatever it is, whatever your gift is, what are you going to do with what you have? All right, now here's my last point about failure. Sometimes it's the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. I began at Fordham University as a pre-med student. I took a course called cardiac morphogenesis. I still can't say it. It's cardiac morphogenesis. I couldn't read it. I couldn't say it. I sure couldn't pass it. So then I decided to go into pre-law, then journalism. And with no academic focus, my grades took off in their own direction. Yeah, down. I was a 1.8 GPA one semester, and the university very politely suggested that it might be better to take some time off. I was 20 years old. I was at my lowest point. And then one day, and I remember the exact day, March 27th, 1975, I was helping my mother in her beauty shop. My mother owned a beauty shop up in Mount Vernon. And there was this older woman who was considered one of the elders in the town. And I didn't know her personally, but I was looking in the mirror, and every time I looked in the mirror, I could see her behind me, and she was staring at me. She just kept looking at me. Every time I looked at her, she kept giving me these strange looks. So she finally took the dryer off her head and she said something I'll never forget. First of all, she said, "Somebody give me a piece of paper. Give me a piece of paper." She said, "Young boy, I have a prophecy, a spiritual prophecy." She said, "You are going to travel the world and speak to millions of people." Now, mind you, I'm 20 years old. I'm flunked out of school. In fact, like a wise ass, I'm thinking to myself, maybe she's got something in that crystal ball about me getting back into school next fall. But maybe she was on to something, because later that summer, while working as a counselor at a YMCA camp in Connecticut, we put on a talent show for the campers. And after the show, another counselor came up to me and asked, "Have you ever thought about acting? You're good at that." So when I got back to Fordham that fall, I got in, I changed my major once again for the last time. And in the years that followed, just as that woman prophesied, I have traveled the world and I have spoken to millions of people through my movies. Millions who up till this day couldn't see me, who up till this day I couldn't see while I was talking to them, and they couldn't see me. They could only see the movie. They couldn't see the real me. But I see you today, and I'm encouraged by what I see. And I'm strengthened by what I see. And I love what I see. One more page, and I'll shut up. Let me conclude with this one final point, and actually the president kind of brought it up. It has to do with the movie Philadelphia. She stole my material. Many years ago, I did this movie called Philadelphia. We filmed some of the scenes right here on campus. Philadelphia came out in 1993. Most of you were probably still in diapers. Some of the professors too. But that cracked me up. But it was a good movie. Rent it on Netflix. It's a good movie. Rent it. I get 23 cents every time you rent it, please. True. Parents up there, rent it. Netflix, please. Tell your friends too. It's about a man played by Tom Hanks who's fired from his law firm because he has AIDS. He wants to sue the firm, but no one's willing to represent him until the homophobic ambulance chaser lawyer, played by yours truly, takes on the case. In a way, if you watch the movie, you'll see everything I'm talking about today. You'll see what I mean about taking risk or being willing to fail. Because taking risk is not just about going for a job. It's also about knowing what you know and what you don't know. It's about being open to people and to ideas. In the course of the film, the character I played begins to take small steps, small risks. He very, very, very slowly begins to overcome his fears. And I feel ultimately his heart becomes flooded with love. And I can't think of a better message as we send you off today. To not only take risks, but to be open to life, to accept new views, and to be open to new opinions, to be willing to speak at a commencement at one of the best universities in the country, even though you're scared stiff. While it may be frightening, it will also be rewarding. Because the chances you take, the people you meet, the people you love, the faith that you have, that's what's going to define you. So members of the class of 2011, this is your mission. When you leave the friendly confines of Philly, never be discouraged, never hold back, give everything you got. And when you fall throughout life, and maybe even tonight after a few many glasses of champagne, remember this: fall forward. Congratulations, I love you, God bless you, I respect you.
Job well done, Denzel. Job well done. Guy, whatever you believe, achieve, okay?
Honor to be challenged by the GOAT, the greatest of all time, for a brief moment. His face was as serious as if I were Frazier in the Thriller in Manila. His movements were flashes of a past greater than I can imagine. His security let the joke play along for a second before they ushered him away. And I walked away floating like a butterfly. I walked away amused at him, amused at myself, amused at life for this moment that almost no one would ever believe. I walked away light, ready to take on the world. That is the magic of this place. Almost anything can happen here. Hey, Q!
Howard University. I was riding here and I heard on the radio somebody call it Wakanda University. But it has many names: the Mecca, the Hilltop. It only takes 1 hour, one tour of the physical campus to understand why we call it the Hilltop. Every day is leg day here. That's why some of you have cars.